Well, we're back. Now we're going to show you how to attach the idler and the drive Dolly Wheel systems to a piece of channel. So it's pretty simple, and we actually chose a short piece of channel, that way it fits in the video here, but you can actually use multiple length, not multiple length, but any kind of length of channel. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use a piece of channel here and attach it. So recommend these little quad hub mount C's right here. We're going to line that up in there and use some 632 by 1/4 inch screws and mount it right in the end of the channel here. And there's many different ways you can mount these two channeled. So this is not the end all way to do it, but this will give you a good idea of what you can do. Tighten these up real quick. And there's several different kinds of end attachments as well that will bolt right to these devices. So like I said, you know, this is just one way to do something that there's multiple ways to do it. So if that makes any sense. So we're going to hand tighten those. Okay. Tighten these down. There we go. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and mount our inline gear motor system. You see everything is, want to make sure obviously everything's tightened down, all the screws are in, it's assembled correctly. So now we're going to go ahead and put these through. And this can get a little bit tricky. Just have some patience. Just trying to hold multiple parts can be sometimes difficult. So put this in here as well. Actually, you know what? We're going to go ahead and take this. Oops. I'm going to go ahead and take this shaft system out, and that will certainly help. So we're going to go ahead and take that out. Allows us to get to these other holes a little bit easier. Now, one thing too, you can mount the channel this way, multiple different directions, but we're going to go ahead and show it being mounted this direction here. I'm not going to tighten those down too tight right off the bat, just so, like I said, it sometimes can be difficult to reach in there, but there we go. Last one. I have to spin it around several times to figure out, whoops, may drop screws as well. Where a round or ball-nosed Allen will really help. So we're going to go ahead and tighten those down. And obviously you can disassemble this unit a little bit as well, and that would certainly help. But all right, so now we've got that in. Now let's go ahead and put in the other end. And like I said, we're going to go ahead and assemble it this way. So we'll put that drive wheel on last. I'm going to go ahead and put these screws in, just drop them in the holes first. Might be a little easier this time. The thing about Actobotics parts is that as you begin and play more and more with them, you find better ways to build things, easier ways to assemble things. All right, here we go. Go ahead and line these up. Put them in just a little bit there. Screw them all down just a little. Put number 4 in there. Alright, we're tightening those down. Rotate it around, you can see in there. And there we go. So the idle side is done. Now we've got to come back and put our drive system back in. Just going to go ahead and drop it down in there. Make sure that's lined up with our D shafting again on our gear motor. Reach in there. Make sure that's nice and tight. Sure it spins freely. There you go. Obviously that's a much shorter version of what you might end up building, but that will run along 1 inch, or depending on where you have your settings at right here, you can actually move them up to go all the way up to 2-inch OD pipe, but this is set up for 1 inch or right around 1 inch. It'll obviously vary slightly even on the setting, on one single setting. So but there's a short version there, and what you'd want to do is you're going to duplicate this obviously with 2 idler systems on the other side and then join them with another piece of channel this direction, and we'll get into that in a further video. So there you go.